Hi everybody, and welcome to another Blackwood Fitness ski-specific home workout. My name's Angus Blackwood. I'm a Beasley Level 3 ISIA instructor, and today we're talking about control. Over the past few weeks, we've been talking about a few different things. We first talked about muscle activation. We then moved into looking at our range of motion to see how far we can get in these different exercises that I put together. And now we want to add in a little bit of an element of control, because I'd like to be able to explore the end range of each motion. Now for me, this is a very important thing to do, because whenever we're skiing or snowboarding or doing any kind of sport, we don't really spend much time, maybe just a fraction of a second, at our end range. And sometimes we don't even know what that end range feels like because we haven't had time to explore it. So I've got a few different activities or a few different exercises that are going to help us to explore the end ranges of our movements and start to be able to develop ourselves a little bit further. All right, everybody. So we're talking about control today. So when I think about control and I think about what it actually means, I think about time. I think having time, and in this circumstance, having time at the end of the movement, because that's where we're spending the least amount of time normally. We're just there for a fraction of a second, and then we end up moving back out of it again. And I would like to be able to explore the end range a little bit more. So I'm going to be using a resistance band today to help me to get a little bit more control when I get to that end range so that I can explore it a little bit more. So I'm going to be attaching this above my head. So you'll need like a pole or a sling or something that you can attach up above that you can attach this to. So you'll take your band and you're just going to loop it through or loop it over the top of your pole so that you've got two handles hanging down. I'm now going to be standing here at the center of the clock. Now we know that when we're looking at the range of motion, that without the bands, I know that I can get to this far, and that's pretty much my limit. If I'm trying to keep everything under control, I'm keeping that foot with the 3 points of contact on it. I'm reaching as far forward as possible, but once I get to that end range, I don't feel I can stand there for very long. I feel like I have to come back because I'm either going to lose the balance or everything's getting tired. So that's where these come in. So I'm going to hold on to the bands this time. I'm now going to get all the way to the end range, but now I can put a bit of resistance here. It's not stable, it's still moving around, which is why I like the resistance band, so I'm still having to work, but I can just spend a bit more time here and I can explore the feelings that my body's having. I can look at things individually, right? How does the feeling feel on this inside foot? Is there 3 points of contact there? Can I just take it that little bit further? If I put my body in a slightly different position, you know, where can I get the absolute most out of it? And so by having this extra bit of control, I can explore that. And I can start to teach my brain how the body's feeling. Right, okay, so that's going to that 12 o'clock position. All right, I know that I can go there. Right, if I take the weight off, is it still something that I can do without resistance? With support, can I still have that balance? So I can really start to explore the feelings and hold it for a little bit longer. And that's going to always be beneficial when it comes to performance, because you know now what it feels like to be at that end range. Right, so let's continue around. Go to 1 o'clock. All right, 1 o'clock. Really push. Oh, my knee's coming in slightly. That's interesting, I didn't feel that before. Right, now I'm back up again. All right, 2 o'clock. Again, I can go a little bit further. I can feel my foot now starting to just angle in slightly, so I need to try and push that little toe down a little bit more. Right, that means I can get a bit of rotation now in this upper body. That's actually a better balance for me. Right, that's good. Okay, now to 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock coming out. All right. Okay, but go a bit further. Right, so I can really start to get a sense of all the feelings that are happening at all the different end ranges, and I have got a little bit more time to explore the feelings in my feet. All right, so have a little play around with that with the toe tap and see where it gets to. I'm now going to move the bands in a slightly different position for the lunge. So for the toe tap, the band is above and it's hanging down like so, and then we've got two handles basically to kind of guide us through. Now what I found is if I want to do the lunge forward, if I keep it in that position, it just pulls my hands back, and that's not a great position for me. So what I find actually is better for me to wrap it around the chest. So I'm going to loop it through just like before, but I'm going to just pull it back through on itself so that I just have one big loop instead of two little loops, and I'm going to put my whole upper body through it. So now it's around my chest. Okay, so I feel like I've got a bit of a bouncy thing to kind of keep me upright. But now it means that I can step forward, and remember when we're doing the lunge, we're trying to travel straight forward over that front foot, right? And normally I would maybe feel like, oh, I'm gonna tip over, or I can't go that far forward because I'm gonna fall. Now I've got this resistance band here, it's quite even through my whole body, and I can keep my hands out for a bit of balance. I can now bring my weight a little bit further forward. I feel like I can stand here quite comfortably. I can even take my back foot off the ground completely, and I'm supported here, so I've got absolute control over this position. So I'm going to bring my weight forward, and this is going to allow me now to think about that movement. Is it going straight forward, or am I dropping down a little bit? And then as I come forward, right, what can I feel here in this knee, or this top part of the leg, in the ankle? I can really explore what my body is doing. Is my foot pronating properly? Does it feel like it's pronating? Is my knee traveling straight forward, or is it pushing out to one side? And this allows you now to explore different movements. Right, so I'm going to try bring the knee in a little bit more than usual. I'm going to try to travel straight forward. Now I'm going to try and push it out even this way a little bit, and I'm just going to start to feel what's happening with the legs and start to really focus in on one body part at a time. Thinking about the ankle joint. Right, what's that doing? What's the knee joint doing? Is that bending more than the other joints? What's the hip joint doing? Is it opening or is it closing? What am I doing? And what feels the best? So exploring that end range again. Okay, now coming back to the center, stepping forward again to 1 o'clock. Again, playing around with the different body positions. If I keep my body straight forward and travel over that way, how does that feel? If I turn my foot or turn my body and come straight across, try and keep the back foot straight, how does that feel? Again, exploring the movement, but with this time we've got that little bit extra control over the movement and support. It means that we can do a little bit more. So you've got to experiment a little bit, especially with bands, because you've got to have a bit of imagination of where you want to have the pressure. Like I said, for the first one, for the toe tap, I'm keeping my upper body quite centered, so I can keep the handles just here, and it doesn't affects the movement too much. It just brings a bit of extra control. But for the lunge, I've got to put it across the chest. That feels best for me. The other thing is, how much control do you want? Because once you start to get to that end range, you feel comfortable, you want to make it into a bit more of a workout, you might want to think about changing the band, making it a little bit harder for yourself. So I hope that that's kind of made you think a little bit about control, and kind of that's my opinion of it, about time and about having more control of the end range so you can explore a bit more. You have a bit of exploration of your own, see what you can come up with, and yeah, send me some comments, let me know what you think, send me some more ideas, and I'm happy to answer your questions and maybe come up with some new ideas.